It's a technical. He might get thrown out. He does.
Little did we know, the final game before the All-Star break. No DeMarcus Cousins, no Sean Livingston, no Andre Iguodala. You thought both teams would probably just pack it in and we'd have a lackluster effort. But we got much more than that. It got very spicy. It was very competitive. And it was just a fun game to watch. So let's get into it. One of the first few possessions. Now, Durant shouldn't have left his feet here. He bit on the pump fake. But I'm all right with it. Don't give up the three. I've been complaining about it all season, so if they're going to give up a couple early dunks and not yield the three, I'm all right with it. Dame, he pulls this dribble handoff from so deep, it's very difficult to defend. A huge part of being a good shooter is the follow-through and congruency. You see how he kind of pulled back? He retracted his follow-through because he wasn't sure he wanted to shoot it. I'll show it to you again. Watch him kind of retract. He's not fully congruent with the shot, and that's why he misses it terribly. Draymond can suffer from the same issue, but on this first one, he's confident and leaves the follow-through at least long enough for it to drop. CJ McCollum, probably top 3 footwork for a guard in the league. He is a mid-range guy himself, but there's the step-back three, something he's been working on. Clay, curling, banging. Jump ball situation, Looney, he just can't get there. And it was a lack of, I think Looney can move a little faster than that. Draymond lets him know he's frustrated. But let's look at Looney's defense. Look at him way out, extended above the three-point line, retreats back to Nurkic on the roll, then shows again and gets out and challenges on the three-point line. I thought he started the game tremendously defensively, and he's showing more of a willingness to defend above the three-point line. Steph's had enough of the slow starts. He pulls the three. Sometimes I ask myself, how is this so open? Here's the moment of indecision. Aminu wants to switch with Steph. Dame's like, nah, and just that slight pause opens up the backdoor lob from Draymond, which, like I said, sometimes you wonder how he gets it because he's staring it down. Steph, expecting a wing three guy, had no intentions of ever shooting that. Clay chases it down. He's like, I'll shoot it. Clay was not feeling it. Rare in Portland. More Looney, and Draymond lets him know about his...
Nurkic, Looney knocks it away.
We've seen Steph working in the mid-range more of late, and that's because guys are fighting over the top and forcing them off the line. That's a difficult shot. Same with KD here. The difference is KD just has a little more options when he curls to that mid-range, right? Because of his size, he gets it done. More Looney. Like I said, this may have been his best defensive quarter since maybe a game in the Houston series. More Steph, more mid-range. KD, it was just a bunch of dribble handoffs and attacking Portland's big, who not really showing, kind of reluctant to show whether it's Collins or Nurkic. This time KD toying with him. And once both Steph and KD realized that, they really started to open up and let things fly from that mid-range area, that soft spot in their defense. Now the dime, Bell gets in the first quarter. Again, severely undermanned with our bench guys. But Dame, the neutralizer, the deep three. And Portland, let's be honest, they're not going to beat you defensively. It's just bucket for bucket. And then you got to help Bell coming off that. They didn't even have shooters in there. So there was some lack of connection defensively with Iguodala out in particular. And then Draymond, I don't even know what to say about these mid-range shots, man. I know they're thought of as the worst shot in basketball, but for Draymond, because of his lack of arc, it's like the perfect distance for him. And maybe for him, it could solve some of our spacing issues. Now, you saw the beginning of this video. I'm going to show you what led up to that. There was a lot of suspect whistles. You see Jerebko gets hit with that one. Clay, the leaner, he hit 2 threes, but he really struggled from the field. He did other things. Look at Steph clowning the fadeaway of Draymond's shot, but he hit 3 mid-range jumpers in the second quarter, and you knew this was the danger time for the Warriors. You see Damian Lee, Bell almost blows his knee out. He has a terrible habit of coming down awkwardly on one leg instead of getting 2 feet down, but the hustle generates Cook the 3. But this second unit with Sean and Iguodala out, that was the danger time in this game because Portland does have depth. Evan Turner, vet lead guard, is a nice combo with the sharpshooter Seth, and there's a brush by 3 free throw foul. So these started to add up, these calls, as you see Smeagol Curry at the line. Shout out Mark for that one, but he continues to hurt his brother's team. Damian Lee getting the minutes, and he can shoot, but that's all he can do, man. Defensively, right? Durant can't get it to drop. Now watch Lee. There's a lot of cross-matching here. Lee's got to pick up Harkless, who's streaking there. That's just instinctual. He's got terrible instincts defensively, and now he gaps McCollum way too much. He's giving him about 5 feet of space, knocks down the 3, his second already of the game. Here's something slick. If you run the pick out of the corner, Dame can't go over the top of it and allow Steph to shoot the 3 rather than the mid-range. And then look at him check down. You always hear coaches say the guard's got to help the bigs rebound. Steph saves the basket in the offensive rebound. My God, Klay Thompson giving it up on the break. I think KD was shocked. Klay with a career high in assists. Steph drawing 3 free throws. Wait, no, he wasn't shooting. He wasn't shooting, according to the Portland Trail Blazer referees. Take a look at it. I think because he detaches the guide hand and he throws it with one hand, he assumes it's a pass. Very next possession, same play, Dame's going to the line, right? So it starts to accumulate, the frustration and the lack of the whistle here headed into the half. This game was very much the opposite of that Utah game that was a defensive style game. This one was more of a light show, an offensive exhibition put on from both sides. And we usually see that when these two get together, right? You see Dame, you see KD, Steph, the step back in the corner using McCollum's own move against him. Then Dame uses KD's move against him, the step back off 1 foot. So it was fun to watch. Klay, the extra pass, Steph, the corner 3. Klay, 8 assists, tying his career high, as I had mentioned before. Aminu, butt naked. KD's got to at least show. He's got to at least attempt to fight through that. And once Aminu realized they weren't going to attack him on the 3 and leave him open, he started to knock him down. Looney on the offensive glass gets his lone basket of the night. And then how often do you see Klay getting blocked on a corner 3? He definitely would start to feel some type of way about his shooting performance. Steph, he just doesn't recognize the screen in time. That's one of his weaknesses. Recognize it, feel it, and then you can fight over it. McCollum the 3, and then Nurk and KD get into a little shoving, and this thing starts to get physical, starts to get spicy here. These teams, you know, how many times have we swept Portland out of the playoffs, right? So they definitely have something extra for us, and then you consider Dame going against his hometown team. I have to say, at least for me, this was one of the more enjoyable games of the season. Look at Dame, you know, like I said, a light show. The stars were on display, and it was just fun. And then it was competitive with a little bit of bad blood. That's a dime from Jerebko. He knew he wanted that before Steph even threw the ball. Aminu, the swing, and then Draymond. This is a dangerous play. Usually you think Draymond flops, but he really got cracked. Nurkic is always throwing those elbows, right? He's always looking for the physicality. Take a look at it. No flagrant on that one, though, right? No flagrant on that one. Repko with his Draymond impersonation.
On the road to Repko.
More frustration. Repko, I thought he gave us some good minutes here with more opportunity. Aminu again. You have to give him something to think about. You have to stun at him or at least make him think you might challenge the shot. Otherwise, he's going to knock it down. The kick out, KD thinking ahead. One of those weird fake stats. The first time Steph and KD both with 30 through 3 quarters. Jerebko, great poke, and then Klay with the 8th assist. This time it's Slim finishing on the break, and you can see he was looking for him. Klay, you want to give him credit because he recognized he wasn't shooting well and he did other things. Curry off the curl. Then Dame gets caught trying to shoot the gap. So Curry with back-to-back threes. KD's got to recognize, what do you think Dame wants to do after Curry splashed 2 threes in his face? What do you think Dame wants right here, KD? Asleep at the wheel and allowing Portland to stay in this game and create their own offense. There was a couple of nice blocks from Durant at the rim coming from the weak side. You see Quinn Cook in there who really gave us nothing in this game. We needed some offense from him. And so it was the 2 MVPs that carried the load offensively. Watch Durant complain after this, right? An accumulation team-wide. The rare time they made Dame a passer, and it's ET off the side of the moon in the corner, not a shooter, not a spacer. Fourth quarter, tight game. You knew Kerr wasn't going to change the rotation, so it was this very suspect second unit. I'm going to hold it here. Almost all 5 Portland defenders in the paint keying on Klay, so there's a reason he went 2 of 16. This lineup was rough. Quinn didn't give us anything, and you're going to see this possession end in a 24-second shot clock violation. And you knew, like, ooh, how long are they going to stick with this lineup? And this could potentially decide the game here, these first 4 minutes of the fourth. Another turnover on the next possession. So how were they going to stay afloat and buy the starters time? It had to be the defensive end. There's the strip and rip from Draymond, and then the nice find to McKinney out in transition, because once they got set in the half court with this lineup, it was very rough to get a clean look at the basket. Repko tips it in. Klay, shot's not dropping, so he's going to get all the way to the cup, and it's the young 7-footer, Zach Collins, roofing him at the rim. But how about this kid Layman? He was really the X factor in the game, the Maryland product, 17 points off the bench, and all of them seemed like came down the stretch when Portland needed him. Look at Draymond. Look at the frustration here. Kerr's going to call a timeout. Read the body language. Draymond very frustrated with this young second unit here. I thought if there was a misstep with the rotation, he should have came back with one of Steph or KD after that timeout, but he stuck with this second unit. Layman, he's like, whoa, slow down, buddy. There's kids in this neighborhood. That's that celebration. Okay, that was racist. Look at the physicality here. This is where it begins with Collins and Clay. He blocks him. He's going to get out here coast to coast. And Lee, you think he's going to dunk that? I don't think so. I don't think he can get above the rim. Collins says, get the hell out. Look at the Portland bench. You got to like him. What did he come out of Gonzaga? Second-year 7-footer. They kept pointing out that Kanter was going to eat his minutes. Clay, sorry if you don't get called for the LeBron move, right? LeBron gets away with that night in and night out. So Clay, he's like, call me the chimney because I want all the smoke. I have never seen Klay Thompson get like this. I got up out of my seat. I called my kids in the room. I was like, look, Klay ready to throw hands. So this got me really fired up, and I loved it. And I like the kid from Portland, too. I've watched plenty of Portland games, and this is not unusual. He tends to rub players the wrong way. There's no back down from him. But I liked to see Klay talk that shit. All these different versions of Klay. What version of Klay is this? Is this Killer Klay, right? Is this Hood Klay? We got China Klay. We got Hood Klay. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that. But then this is a disturbing trend. Smeagol Curry busting Steph Curry's ass late in games. We've seen this like 2 or 3 times this year. Now on his brother-in-law, the jumper, and all of a sudden Portland has all the momentum. Oh, and as if they needed it, how about another bad call in their favor? Layman clearly moving Draymond. I think Draymond did well not to get thrown out of this thing. I would have guessed he would have came out of it. And then this happens. Okay? I pointed out Draymond got elbowed in the head from Nurkic. I don't even think they looked at that call. Take another look at this. He gets ball. They're reviewing it because why? It's Draymond, and then Steve Kerr blows a gasket, y'all. This made my night, honestly. I almost feel like Kerr was like on stage, right? It almost felt like Kerr was just, it felt a little over the top, but either way, I loved it. And look at the Warrior players. Look at Bell. Bell loves that shit. Watch KD here. There's a shit-eating grin on KD's face. He's trying not to smile after he helps his coach find the locker room. Look, you could tell he wanted to smile. So how about this? Portland gets 5 free throws. I'm fired up here. After the flagrants and all that's assessed, right? And then Layman on the possession. How about an 8-point possession to completely put this game out of reach? And then I like this. Watch KD here. He's going to shove Collins after the foul. And you know why I like it? Because it's united we stand. They knew Klay felt some type of way, and so it was camaraderie. It was like, if you say fuck him, Klay, we all say fuck him, Klay. Mike Brown, very, very smart move, 230. You know, some old school dumb coaches would have left their guys in there to kind of like battle it out and show toughness at the end. Get our guys out of there. Big picture at hand. Get the starters out. The game had got ugly, really chippy. And look at him. Klay still barking from the bench. And so they had fun with it. United they stood. I thought it brought even more camaraderie to this roster, and it was unfortunate. Look at Bell. Bell's on some hood shit. Watch Bell go around the other side to get ready to snuff Collins here, right? Oh, it might pop off. Look at him sneak around. Bell, no stranger to the scraps, right? To the house party bombings. But either way, man, it was unfortunate that we were kind of robbed of a competitive finish because of the refereeing. But to be honest with you, I'll take it. And I like this kid, Zach Collins. The Portland crowd giving him a standing O and recognizing, you can't be mad. He didn't back down to the champs. He plays hard. Yeah, he likes to throw bows and he's physical. But, you know, despite the bad blood, there's a lot of connections between these teams. Obviously, Seth, Steph, McCollum is good friends with these guys. So it all ended in good spirit, I think, and no one got hurt. And we can roll into the break after an unexpected jewel of a game on a Wednesday night. I'm out, y'all. I've been winning so long, it's like alchemy.